Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here. Welcome to my garden. This is my bi-monthly tour, June 15th already. This summer is flying by. I'm going to bring you up here and show you what I'm doing. We have a business here called Growers Outlet in Loganville, Georgia. They do a ton of business, and they open early spring, and then they're closing today, June 15th. They'll open again in August, and in August they'll have mainly perennials. Well, I went there yesterday. It was crowded like crazy, but I did pick up a few new plants. I'm calling this area my dianthesis area. I've got a lot of different colors and varieties. Most of these are going to be in the 12 inches to 16 inches range. Some of them are lower. I like the lower ones, and they're going to spread to about a foot apart too. So next year, I'm looking forward to this spot of the garden being fully engulfed with dianthesis. I like them because they flower almost continuously all summer, and you don't have to worry about deadheading them a lot. So this is the view from the top of the hill. You can see some sunflowers down there. I've got gigantic, tall daisies right there, Shasta daisies. And over there to the gazebo. And up there in the right-hand corner, you can see some gladiolus blooming. Right here are my Veronica plants. I've kind of planted them in mass here. A couple are shorter than others. I do need to cut those back, but I'm waiting here to show you what I've done. This is a couple of plants I picked up at another nursery. These are false sunflowers. They should, I cut them back, cut all the blooms off of them. So they should be blooming here, and again, probably in a couple weeks. In this tub, and the dark one right here on the side, both are cardinal plants. I'm watching this tall one carefully because I may be giving it just a little too much water. I don't water that. It's that tub that doesn't have any drainage in it. Right in front of it are some basil that I've sprouted. It's really pretty basil. I've got another one right down here. Let me show you that. This beautiful basil plant. I need to cut it back, but again, I've been wanting to show you what I've got going. All of these are cuttings off the basil, so all of those are going to be as big as this. So in a couple of weeks, I'm really looking forward to that. Right down here at the base of this huge sunflower, I've got a butterfly plant. I picked this up yesterday. I haven't taken the pot away because I want to make sure I get the variety here, and I'll stick it right here. I'll cut that label off. Those labels last for years. I recently purchased some milkweed seed from Pine Trees Nursery, but they had a big sale. But I didn't want to plant this year, so I picked up this plant right here. Same thing here. I picked these three plants up. This is a pink turtlehead, and I've been watching this plant for years and just hesitated to buying it. Yesterday they were on sale, so I went ahead and purchased three of them to make a little tripod there. Those are native plants all the way from Maine to Florida, it said, and I didn't realize it was a native, and I'm trying to plant as many natives in here as I can. This is what the coreopsis looks like from the top here. All of these are black-eyed Susans that have not bloomed yet. I know you might have noticed a lot of crabgrass in there. It's actually a little bit easier to deal with it if you let it get a few inches long. Then you can really get a hold of it. My gladioluses are blooming here. I've got those supported with these little tomato racks. And I don't know what this is. I've been letting it go. It looks like it might bloom. It could be ragweed, or it could just be a weed. I don't know. I haven't pursued what it was. At the base of this was a ragweed plant I purchased from Growers Outlet last year, and it died over the winter. I don't know if that's what's come up here. We'll see in a couple weeks if we get bright yellow flowers. My Mexican petunia is coming back from last year, but it hasn't bloomed yet. Continuing down the perennial garden here. This is what it looks like from the lower level. This is the coreopsis bed. I'd like to add to that this fall. I bought some coreopsis seed. I got these two small Shasta daisies yesterday as well. I put up some dirt here because the ground right there was really hard. And I've also pulled back. In fact, I've pulled out. I need to cut this one off because I don't want to lose this. But I'm overrun here with the black-eyed Susans. And I've been pulling them up. You know, I know it's hard for me to do, but I want these other flowers to flourish as well. Beautiful yarrow right in front of here. And this is Joe Pye weed that should be blooming the next time we have a tour. Some tickweed. This all came up from seed from last year. Another stand of coneflowers. I should move these over to the others, and I might do that this fall. Strawberries have stopped producing, but this Nicotina plant is really doing well. And there's one that is coming up between the rocks here that should have been a seedling from one of these plants from last year. The bee balm up here, the hummingbirds and the bees love it. And these are those Shasta daisies. Look at the stand of balloon flowers. So next year I need to separate these a little bit, and I really need to take care of my blue-eyed grass. It is overwhelmed with strawberries and other plants, so I'll be transplanting that in the fall. Over here is a big stand of white yarrow. I harvested the potatoes earlier this week. Let me show you what that looked like. I'm going to start harvesting these by first taking up these first sunburned ones. And then I'm going to pull the vines. See what's on the vines. I'm going to put these vines back in here. Here's the original. I cut this in half, and you can see it must have had two eyes on it, because that's what came out. I'll be throwing this back in because these little tubulars here, I'm pretty sure will grow. There's a nice one. Please forgive my dirty hands. We got just under a 5-gallon bucket full of potatoes. The white ones have a strange skin on them. I'm not sure. Do have some nice red ones, but on the whole, they're very small. I'm a little disappointed in them. Maybe they were too crowded. Maybe I didn't give them enough. Well, I didn't fertilize them at all. Maybe that's the problem. But next year, I think I'll just go with the reds and do half of what I did this year. But I'm going to get a fall crop out of here. I'll put some of these plants back in, put all the plants back in, and lots of them have potatoes attached to them, but I'm going to put those back in next. We've got a load of spoiled hay down there. It was too hot, started heating up and actually decomposing in the bale. I've got a good pile of it down there. I'm going to go put the potatoes back in here, put the straw back on top. These beds used to be strawberry beds, and this is part of that bad hay we've had. I've been mixing it with manure and turning it over. I'm not going to be planting anything in here until September, October. I'll probably put my winter lettuce in here. This is where I borrowed some dirt to plant those Shasta daisies with. Oh, this is carrots. We had I thinned them out, and we had this really nice dish. We steamed these small carrots that I thinned out and the potatoes last week. They were great with a brat. So my take on vertically growing squash, we have been on the road and baseball games and have really not even harvested any squash yet this year, except for the squash that are huge like this, which I've been giving to the chickens. So we've got a bee pollinating it, and we've got a slug on there. Very discouraging. That bee is in a male flower. The female flowers look like this. They have a squash already on them. This one is starting to grow, so it's been pollinated. Cucumbers have gone wild. I have such a hard time cutting plants back. It just goes against my grain. We've got these beetles on here that I've been squishing as they come along. The raspberries are almost gone. I was hoping to get enough raspberries for one more Dutch baby this Sunday, but I don't think I'm going to make it. There are a few glingo that are just now ripening, those purple ones back there, but there's only a few of those in this bed. Here at the Lotus Garden, this is where I've been propagating that basil. A lot of tadpoles down there. And look at the first bloom of the year for the lotus. Isn't that beautiful? Another one that'll be opening in the next couple of days. This is where the peas were. As you can see, I took the net down. And look at this giant squash. That is just as hard as a rock, but the chickens love them. My okra is starting to bloom. There it is right there. 4 o'clocks are right here. As you can see, they're giant. We've had a lot more Japanese beetles this year than normal. I haven't done anything with them yet. If you put out a trap, it just makes more of them come in. So I probably ought to find something organic to spray those with. But as long as they're on the 4 o'clocks, that's fine by me. Turning around here to the corn. This corn is almost ready to eat, but it looks very slender. I planted it in blocks this year. I don't know if you can see it, but every time I come through here, I shake it and let the pollen fly down. Maybe you can see it on this one. So this is Eli's corn right here. He has me take pictures of it weekly. There's about a dozen stalks in here. And this is 1 week and a different week and the first week of planting. A lot of sunflowers. I have some more sunflowers started in the basement. This is my wildflower garden. And if I'd known these things were going to get this tall, I wouldn't have planted them here. Although this place gets a lot of shade in the afternoons. There's a little bachelor's button. I like those. Those should come back. This is the other side of the tomato bed. We'll go over there in a minute. I cut back a lot of these leaves on the sunflowers, and the peppers are doing really well. This is that time of year. I'd like to say that much for my Rosetta tomatoes. And this is a Sweet 100 tomato. These are zinnias that are coming up as volunteers. This is my zucchini that I'm attempting to grow vertically, but I don't see any zucchini on it, and we have not had it. This dill is starting to go to seed. Turning around here, this is JM's bee balm he gave me, and it has completely taken over this bed. I'll probably be pulling some of it up. You can see it's so crowded, it's got powdery mildew on that. There are some remedies for that. I love these red hot pokers. Up here, I think I have the Earthwalker sunflower and bee balm on this corner of the tomato bed. Here's my take on growing these up on strings. I am not getting nearly the tomatoes I got when I grew them in baskets. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back to the baskets next year. I've got some yellowing on the leaves. I bought some Epsom salt yesterday, and I will be spraying those. I've cut back these marigolds quite a bit, and they're really blooming beautifully now. My San Marcos plum tomatoes are just not doing well. I had 3 or 4 of them in here, and none of them are going to make many tomatoes, if any. Again, the yellowing leaves here, I don't know what that is. I need to cut them off. Have some basil here. Oh, this is yesterday. This sunflower had not had one seed taken out of it. And so I was going to show you how I preserve these for the chickens for winter. I would have taken this recycled paper bag and put it over there, cut the stem off here, and hung it upside down in the barn. But this is from yesterday. All of these seeds are gone. I'm not sure who's eating them, but I might try to get a camera over here to see who's going to finish them up. Look at the stalk on this. I mean, this is my hand. I can't touch my fingers together on this sunflower. It's so beefy. This is a sunflower head that I might be able to save. It looks like it's been pollinated, so what I could do is go ahead and put that paper bag over it. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but it's not going to get any bigger. There's another one right up there next to the bird feeder. Looks like I need to put some bird seed in there. And at the end of this bed, I have Shasta daisies that have yet to bloom. I want to show you my persimmon tree. It doesn't look much like on camera, but I love this. This is going to be an area, this used to be an orchard, thriving orchard. We had several apple trees down here, and the beavers ate them all. Well, this is the daffodil bed. I've got several wildflowers in here, and some foxglove, but I wanted to point out to you, and Jimmy in particular, that his grandma's butterfly bush is thriving. What a beautiful bloom. I've never seen one like that. He told me it was unique. He wasn't kidding. And I've got another bloom coming on here. This is where I'm going to leave you today. Normally, I would have a cup of coffee in my hand, but I haven't gone back up to get it. And I'm going to feed my fish. If you're a gardener, I hope your garden's doing well. And we'll go through the garden again on July 1st.